you. So I'll just stick to a brief review of a code of conduct that Dr. Raman would invariably include in all his addresses. And this is according to Varaha Mihira. He would say, an astrologer should be adveshi, that is, free of malice and jealousy for other astrologers. Nitya Santoshi, he should be contented, not exploitative in his fees, charging exorbitant amounts for consultations. Coming to this, I'm reminded of an incident where a lady, a relative of mine, I don't do consultations, but sometimes you have to entertain relatives and friends. So she had come and was very worried about a forecast she had received from a TV astrologer. I believe she had found a lot of bed bugs in her mattress. So a friend told her the presence of bed bugs means you will suffer a major calamity. So you'd better go to a decent astrologer and find out if there is a remedy for it. So she had gone to a well-known TV astrologer, and he said he looked at her chart, said these are all doshas in your chart, so some major calamity is going to befall you. So, but there are pariharams, don't worry, I can do it for you. And she begged him to do it for her. She was so scared and frightened by the forecast. He then said, it will cost you just 42,000 rupees for a pariharam, which will save you from this calamity. Now there are many men folk here. How many of you are willing to give 42,000 to your wife for a pariharam? Please lift your hands. Oh. So she was in a quandary because she go for bidding. And at that stage she came to me. I looked at her chart, found there was nothing to be scared about. Everything was okay. Maybe there would be a few troubles. And the bugs had come because her brother from a rural area had come to her house in a mafusal bus. And mafusal buses carry, lice and ants and cockroaches and bed bugs and other vermin. So naturally the bugs had spread in her house. I told her there's nothing to worry. Then she said, you must tell me some pariharam. I'm very scared. I said, I'll give you a simple pariharam. Don't worry too much about it. But she said, please don't make it too costly. My husband will not give me the money for it. I said, it's not costly at all. It's very simple. On your way back home, go to a supermarket, buy a can of cockroach spray and spray it on all the mattresses in your house. She was so relieved, she fell at my feet and cried and cried. I said, don't worry, nothing bad will happen. So this is it. So many, I don't know if all TV astrologers do, but many do exploitative business out of astrology. Then Ganitagama Paraga. One should be well versed in Ganita, the mathematical part of astrology, and predictive works. Then Kushala Buddhiman. One should be intelligent, and whatever prediction he makes should be with due respect to Kala, Desha and Patra. Dr. Raman's residence had a neighborhood school where there were lots of boys studying up to 10th standard. Once one of these boys, perhaps he'd heard of Dr. Raman's association with Jyotisha. One of these boys, he came to father and then he put up his hand like this and said, sir, can you please tell me if I'll pass in first class? Father didn't ask him to bring his horoscope or anything. He said, you study hard, you will pass in first class. And the boy went away. 2 or 3 months later, after the exams and the results were announced, he came to father with a box of sweets and said, sir, just as you predicted, I passed in first class. And he touched father's feet and took his blessings and went away. So just because somebody comes to you with a chart, you don't have to oblige him for all the silly requirements. Kushala Buddhiman. One should be intelligent with due respect to, that is Kala, Desha and Vartamana. Vagmi. One should be careful in how he words the interpretation. He should not make scary forecasts. Even if there is something scary, he should put it in such a way that it doesn't scare the person consulting you. And if there is a good forecast, then also you have to be measured in how you put it. Once there was a conference in Bombay which I was attending, and there were speakers who were also into palmistry. And this palmist, he spread out his hand and showed some lines on it, and he went on discussing about lines that lead one to commit suicide. And after explaining that, he pointed at the audience, at one of his friends who was sitting there, and said, that friend, he's sitting there, he has got these lines for suicide, so he will commit suicide. That poor friend, I'm sure until then had not even considered suicide, but maybe now he would start considering suicide as an option. So that's it. Then Uha Poha Patuhu. One should have developed his inferential ability. Once Brihaspati, that is the guru of the Devas, and Shukracharya, guru of the Daityas, they were having a discussion on predictive astrology. And they wanted to test each other's ability in astrology. So they said, let us see what is happening in Indra's Svargaloka. Then Shukracharya made his calculations and he said, as usual, Indra is sitting on his throne and Urvashi is dancing away. And a bell trinket from her belt has fallen down and is at her feet. Brihaspati said, you're only partly right. The trinket has fallen from her belt and is not at her feet, but 3 feet away. So they said, let us repair to Indraloka, to Swarga, and find out what exactly is the situation. So both of them go to Swarga. And there, as anticipated, Urvashi or Menaka, whoever she is, dancing before Indra, which she is enjoying as always. And then they see that the trinket that has fallen down is 3 feet away from the dancer. Shukracharya is amazed. He says, how did you find out so precisely? And Brihaspati says, it is nothing but common sense. The dancing floor is a polished floor. When the trinket fell on the floor, it bounced and fell 3 feet away, that is all. So, Uha Poha Patuhu, you must develop your inferential ability also. Then one should be Muhurta Guna Doshagna. One should be well versed in the science of Muhurta or Muhurta Shastra, in the good and bad qualities of time. Once, one young man, he came to me, very good looking man, and he asked me for a Muhurta. And he gave birth particulars of both. And he said, I want a Muhurta. We're going to a hill station to spend a happy time there. So please give a good Muhurta. And I was looking at his chart, and he said, please give a good Muhurta so that we won't get into trouble. I said, why will you get into trouble? You're going to the hill station with your wife. He said, no, I'm going with my secretary. So I gave him not a Muhurta, but a piece of my mind and sent him away. And the last qualification is Siddha Mantro Janati Iti Jatakam. Now you must have all heard of Satyacharya. Can I have some water? His book Satyacharyam. Yeah. He had a son who had a brilliant horoscope. And Satyacharya was very hopeful of his becoming a very good astrologer. He had all the combinations for that, and that he would become world famous, etc. But unfortunately, much to the chagrin of Satyacharya, The son, still in his teens, passed away. Satyacharya got very upset. The science which I have followed for so long has betrayed me. I had expected he would have a long life and a famous life, but now he has died even in his teens. I don't believe in astrology. I will throw all my astrology books into the funeral fire of my son. At this, Lord Shiva appears before him and says, your knowledge and scholarship is undoubtedly high, but you must always remember, to make a correct forecast, you also should have done some upasana or gained mantra siddhi. So siddha mantro janati iti jatakam. It is important that you also spare some time to do japa of a favorite mantra or a mantra which you have received from a competent guru, not gurus like Nityananda. So I will not take up much of your time. There are more scholars waiting to share their knowledge with you. I thank the Secunderabad chapters for the excellent hospitality arrangement they have made. I thank the spirit behind the Secunderabad chapters, Sri Jairam, and I thank all the office bearers, chapter chairpersons, chapter chairmen, functionaries, faculty members for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, friends.
Thank you so much, ma'am, from the depths of our hearts. Thank you for reiterating the code of conduct of an astrologer, which acts as a moral compass for all of us. Thank you so much, ma'am. Your soulful and luminous blessings have touched every heart in this hall. We carry them with us as we step into the conference and indeed into our lives. We are truly and deeply grateful, ma'am. Distinguished dignitaries, esteemed members and dear friends, the moment we have gathered and prepared for is here. It is now time to begin our technical session, and we look forward to an enriching, illuminating and memorable day of learning. I respectfully request the dignitaries